Hi, I'm David Reed, also known as Fuzzy D from Fuzzy Road to Health. So today I want to tell you a little bit about my story. So I want to show you this. This was taken in 2015, about 3 years after I was officially diagnosed with myasthenia gravis, as well as 6 other autoimmune disorders. So when that picture was taken, I weighed about 500 pounds. At my heaviest, I was 540 pounds, just over. That's another picture. That was taken at 480. And also taken at about 480. And this was at about 465. That's what I look like sitting in a chair after I fell asleep. And this is just a small portion of all the prescription medications I was on. I was actually on 19 medications. Now, as you probably noticed, I don't look as big now as some of those pictures. Here's like more of a close-up of my face. You can see that there's been a lot of weight loss. But what's a little harder to see is the fact that I was in a wheelchair for 15 years. And of that 15 years in a wheelchair, the last 10 of which, I was basically bedridden. Now, I could stand with assistance, and I could walk a little bit with assistance near the end. Things were improving a little bit as I was starting to lose some weight. I could move around a little more readily, but I still couldn't go very far without the wheelchair. Now, I also was diagnosed at 19 years old with bipolar disorder. Now, it's something that my mom had that was undiagnosed for decades. And I didn't like what the medications did to me, so I often just didn't take them. I did find a natural product called Empower Plus that worked when I took it without side effects by a company called True Hope. I actually know the people personally that developed it. Pretty amazing product. But nowadays, follow a carnivore diet. And at about 6 months carnivore, my bipolar disorder symptoms completely disappeared. And I haven't had an episode in over 2 years. And my Asperger's also significantly reduced. My OCD went away. All 7 autoimmune diseases that I know about that I have are in drug-free remission. And this is something that was kind of a no-brainer for me. When I found the video from Dr. Barry that talked about not only losing weight, but healing autoimmune, I jumped in with both feet. Now, I'd done keto before that. Some of this weight loss is from keto, but most of it nowadays is from carnivore. And I've lost over 250 pounds, 31 inches off my waist from when I started trying to lose weight. 31 inches gone. And everything that they've told you about meat and fat being harmful, causing heart attacks, causing cancer, is all nonsense. Complete nonsense, and provably so. Not just because there are millions of carnivores in the world today achieving health, not dropping dead from heart attacks and strokes and all that kind of stuff that they claim. Now, these studies that they claim prove that meat is harmful, all stem from Dr. Ansel Keys in the 1950s and his 6-country, some people call it a 7-country study, but everybody ignores the fact that he actually studied data from 22 countries and threw away everything that didn't agree with his theory, and then came out with the new food guide, and then set about demonizing anyone who spoke out against it, ruining many careers in the process. So you can't listen to this garbage that they say. Mankind was eating essentially a carnivore slash keto diet for thousands of years before farming ever became a thing. And if you follow farming practices throughout history, you look at ancient cultures that were heavy farmers and ate a lot of refined grains and sweets and honey and all that kind of stuff, had the same kind of modern diseases we have today. Look at ancient Egypt. The health conditions that they suffered, especially among the elite that could afford the fancy food and all the processed garbage. And they suffered for it, and they paid for it. So if you're dealing with being way overweight, if you're dealing with chronic health issues, if you're dealing with type 2 diabetes, if you're dealing with mental illness, there is a single diet that can address it all. And if you're interested, you can ask me and I'll provide you some links and some scientific evidence to back me up. And you can also look at the carnivore and keto groups that you can find on social media, and they will witness to you the healing that they've gotten from ignoring the doctors and eating meat. So let's get out there and get healthy. You have a choice. You've now been exposed to the truth. You can ignore it or deny it, or you can ask questions and learn more and see how I did this. See how I lost over 250 pounds and took 31 inches off my waist and put 7 autoimmune diseases in remission. This is completely doable. There are tons of us doing it all the time. Let me know. I can help you. I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.